welcome back to my video, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel and you leave me a comment. So a lot of people believe that the main reason as to why they're not selling, or the main reason as to why they're not making so much sales, is because they have a sales problem. That is what they've convinced themselves, that they have a sales problem. They don't actually know how to sell, but that is one fat lie, because the moment you are in business, or the moment you are a salesperson, then you know exactly what is expected of you. You know that you're supposed to sell, because how will you get buyers? How will you get customers, even acquire customers, if you don't sell? And you know selling is serving. So many people believe the main reason as to why they are not making so much sales is because they have a sales problem, but that is wrong. In fact, the biggest reason as to why people are even failing when it comes to sale is because they avoid selling. You see, selling is not as easy as how so many people have made it to be, or selling is not what you think of or what it looks like. Selling, actually a lot goes into selling, okay? Selling can be so uncomfortable and also extremely embarrassing. Talking to people and even connecting with people is not easy. You must be really somebody who really loves people in order for you to first understand them and to serve people. Okay? So, the main reason most people just avoid selling. Okay? All they do is post content or even talk about their business, talk about what they're selling, but they're not doing the actual work, which is selling. And like I mentioned, selling is serving. So many people are really struggling when it comes to sales because they're avoiding doing the actual thing. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to subject themselves to a lot of rejection and a lot of embarrassment. Some people actually are salespeople, even business people, but they really hate talking to people. They hate serving people, and that is why they believe selling is hard, and that is why they feel like they're not making so much sales, because they have a sales problem. The thing is, it's not like they have a sales problem. They are just avoiding doing the real thing. They don't want to sell. They don't want, in fact, it's even worse for some people because they don't even want to be seen selling. Imagine being a business owner and you don't want people seeing you selling, because also selling, some people really demean selling. They feel like it's so embarrassing to sell, or it's so embarrassing to call yourself a salesperson. So the issue is, it's not like you don't make sales, you just don't want to sell. You don't want to ask people to buy your products. You don't want to ask people to buy. You don't want to tell people what you're selling. You just don't want to do the real thing. And that is why you feel like you have a sales problem. No, you don't have a sales problem. You just don't want to do the right thing. You don't want to speak to anyone. You don't want to connect with anyone. You don't want to serve anyone because you feel like it's time consuming. You are even scared of the rejection. Selling can be, like I mentioned, it can be so uncomfortable and embarrassing. That is why you are struggling in sales. So until the day you will start understanding people, you start serving people, and you start having a different perception when it comes to sales, that is when you will now start experiencing a different result. You will now start seeing positive results. But if you still avoid selling and you know you're expected to sell, then it's gonna be hard for you, and you won't be making revenue, you won't be selling that much. So you don't have a sales problem. You are just avoiding selling. Yeah. You know you're supposed to speak to people, but you don't want to. You know you're expected to call people, you don't want to call them. You know you're expected to connect with people, you don't even have time for that. You know selling can be so embarrassing. You don't want to subject yourself to that kind of embarrassment. Selling can be so uncomfortable because you don't know exactly the kind of reaction you'll receive from a customer, and that is why you're like, you know what, I'd rather be in this comfort zone and not do it. So from today, if you're a salesperson or you're always interacting with customers, you're a business person, stop complaining about you not knowing how to sell or having a sales problem, and start doing the right thing. Show up, okay, and speak to customers. Ask them to buy from you. That's it. Make sure you follow me and subscribe, by the way.